Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
Hello and welcome to the Popternative podcast, the podcast and talk show where we have digital discussions from the worlds of TV, film, pop culture, music, news, sports, everything really depending on a guest. We talk about it all. As always, I'm your host, Peter Remoliotis. On social media, you know me as PD Beats. My guest is the guitarist of a band called We Were Sharks. They just released their music video and single for Shameless. Jason Mooney is with us. Jason, welcome to Popternative, man.
Oh, it's my turn now?
Welcome to the show, man.
Thanks for having me.
You know what? We talked about in the preamble. I don't know if you noticed, I didn't make full eye contact with you while I was doing it because I thought maybe you were gonna laugh or do something.
That's okay. I tried not to make eye contact with you either. I don't know where it was gonna go, so I just kind of like looked around, made sure I was like, man, are my pictures even in line behind me? Like, so how's my hair? You know?
No, man. Thank you so much for doing this. I know we were talking about this before. I mean, you know, we kind of connected here and there, like some bars and audible, like Zaphods here and there, but we're actually kind of broing down now and chatting. So thank you for doing this. It's always a fun time, man. Like when a band releases a new song, and this is cool because you guys released the song on Spotify, but a music video as well, right? So it's kind of like a tag team a little bit too.
Yeah, it was really awesome to finally get this stuff out. It was really fun leading up to it as well. Like, we've been getting a lot of great feedback, and that's awesome. People enjoying the video, and it was a lot of fun to shoot as well. And so, like, we had all this like energy where we just couldn't wait for it to finally get out. Because I mean, I'm sure we'll talk about more probably, but like we've had these songs, and so to finally be able to share them with everybody, it was just a really nice thing to have happen finally.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. You are not an original member of We Were Sharks, but you have been in the band for quite a long time. You've been in the band for 8 years. Has it kind of sunk in that you have been in We Were Sharks for that long, man?
Sometimes it's funny. Like people will say like, oh, well, you know, you were there from the beginning. I'm like, no, I was not. No, not at all. But yeah, it's crazy. It's at the same time really awesome too. You know, like how many bands, you know, they give it their best shot in like 2-3 years, you know, and that's it. They pack it in. While it seems like as each year goes by, as we get older, we're like, and let's do this now, and let's do that now. Like we don't stop. So
I know, but it's pretty crazy too, because you know, people that follow the band, you know, I mean, people grow, people like things change, you know what I mean? There have been a lot of lineup changes over the years, but then it's just that here you are, Jason Mooney, like still in the band, you know what I mean?
Not even the original member, but hey, I'm still here, you know, I'm still kicking. No, it's awesome, man. Like we're all good friends, you know, and it's like, you know, if we didn't have the band, what else would we be doing? Like, I don't know, playing like fantasy hockey or football or something like, or
we do that anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it's our thing. Like we're really fortunate that like we get together and we get to make music, and then when the world isn't on fire, we can go travel and see things together and play music live, and I don't know, it's awesome.
No, absolutely. Before you were in We Were Sharks, you were in a band called Over the Top. I believe you guys were in the Newfoundland area, correct?
That is correct.
And it was one of those things where you did some shows with Sharks, right? That's kind of how you like met the band, right?
Yeah. So like growing up in Newfoundland, like you're isolated from the rest of the world essentially. And I mean, this was like 12, 13 years ago, maybe more now. And I remember,
we get it. We're old, man.
Yeah. But like, I just remember we'd like try and like team up with other bands and go on tour. And at the time, at one point, I connected with Randy over MySpace, and we lined up this tour together, and we just clicked. And it was a big deal for us to like at the time like go on tour with a band from Ontario. Wow. And I clicked with them, and I would sometimes just travel, fly into Ottawa just to hang out with the guys, and then it was just made sense for me to make a move after a while in life. So
absolutely. Bands are gonna kind of like naturally kind of progress and evolve, like release after release, record after record. It's gonna happen. But like especially with Shameless, I mean, let's be honest, right? And I think maybe it's because of, you know, Randy's voice and everything. I mean, it's a We Were Sharks song, you know what I mean? Like you're gonna experiment here and there, but it has that kind of main crux We Were Sharks sound, correct?
Yeah. I feel like when we were wondering about like which angles to take on certain songs, we were always like, even if we were getting a little brave, it was like, it's Randy's voice though. Like Randy doesn't have a I don't think Randy has a very stereotypical voice for like the genre, and so when you hear it, it really stands out. You know, and also he's an amazing singer. So like.
Absolutely. You know, but it's interesting too, because the one thing I don't think people realize is what a powerhouse of a band, from kind of the musicianship aspect of We Were Sharks, but also just like some great people in the band as well. But you look at like Matt Sears that joined the band. I mean, you know, I'm from the Ottawa area. Like, he's like one of the best musicians I've ever like met in my life. Like, that guy's ridiculous. And, you know, a guy like Colin Jock, who's been around the scenes also kind of in Oshawa as well. You know what I mean? Like, you have guys that have a lot of kind of experience, like whether it's like touring or playing in bands, but also like creating really good music, like being able to play the instruments. You know what I mean?
Like I don't know why they've kept me around.
Yeah, you're pretty good. You're a riff master. You do the riffs.
Yeah, no, but like you know, all the guys are just super like crazy talented for sure. Like Will doesn't give himself enough credit of how good of a drummer he is.
So good.
You know, Matt is amazing at just about everything. The guy can even sing. Some people don't know that, but he can even sing. Like, the guy he's an amazing writer, amazing performer, amazing player. He's awesome. Absolutely. And then there's Colin, who can play anything better than I can. He doesn't think so, but he definitely can. So, but still, I'm very blessed to be part of, like, it is a powerhouse that I'm paying rent at. So, you know.
Absolutely. At one point, you were in another band with Rhodey Walker from Protest to Hero, I believe, Mystery Weekend, correct?
Yeah.
Is that still a band?
Well, I was more so a performing member.
Okay. Like a hired band, so to speak.
But like, you know, I know that last Halloween they released a song. I think Rhodey even posted something today about making a joke about coming out with a Christmas album or something like that. I really hope that they still have kind of music beating around that they want to like get out and get everyone to hear, because I think it's a lot of fun. It's really great. But yeah, I was a performing member in that band for when they were performing.
Absolutely. I mentioned on the top too, like there have been a lot of like We Were Shark like member changes, but I think it's funny because you know this straight up too, like the Warped Tour era of bands and the alternative press era bands, like oh, this band member left the band, or there's beef, you know what I mean? I mean, do you think that's like kind of a little bit of a misconception, Jason? You've been doing this for a long time. I mean, people grow, people get tired of it, people want to kind of start lives, have a kid, you know what I mean, get married, you know what I mean? It's not always the beef. Like, I feel like people don't realize that.
Yeah, it's totally true. I mean, like, I feel like every time a member left, it's because they're finding a different path. They're like, you know, everyone's got an idea, and everyone's got a dream and a passion and a plan, but as days go by and things change in life, so do plans and your aspirations and what you want to do with life. You know, the person who started playing in a band at 22, 23, but you know, they promised themselves they'd have a house by the time they were 30. You know, if you're roughing it in a van and you know you're working at Starbucks or Tim Hortons or something like that at the age of 29, 30. I mean, unless you've been saving. But if you're on the road all the time, I don't necessarily, and making good money, I don't see how that can necessarily happen. So you change your path, I suppose, to attain the goals that you want, and sometimes that means leaving a band.
I know, and it just happens a lot, and it's just pretty crazy. I want to do something right now. I'm going to pull up. I did this to the Ever members too. I'm going to pull up We Were Sharks' Spotify for a second here.
Oh God.
There it is. So 72,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. That's like, Randy always jokes he's not a numbers guy and everything, but like, that's pretty impressive though, man. Like, have you like that's cool.
Yeah, sounds really cool, because I haven't checked the numbers myself either. I like to try and stay away from it. I used to. But if
you think about that, like, that's a lot of people listening to We Were Sharks on a monthly basis, dude.
Yeah, no, it definitely is, considering the fact that we also kind of like hadn't released music for 3 years, just about 3 years. That's really, really awesome. I get nervous sometimes when I start thinking about numbers, and like, I don't know. So, yeah. But yes, that is really, really cool. I don't know why 72,000 people are spending their time listening to us, but there's Metallica out there. They should just go listen to that instead.
It's funny. There's a lot of people it's funny. Like Wade McNeil from Alex on Fire. I was talking to him about like how people look up to Alex on Fire and like so many people listen to them. And he was just like, he's like, to be honest with you, he's like, compliments make me feel really uncomfortable. He's like, I try to be gracious about it. He's like, inside, like I'm just dying.
It's weird, it's like the kind of thing where like, what do I do with my hands?
And it's like the band has had an opportunity to play with some really cool bands and played some really cool tours, and played the Buffalo Data Vans Warped Tour. I mean, what are some things for you as a guitarist of We Were Sharks specifically are you proud of what We Were Sharks over the last 8 years, Jason?
So definitely like getting to play the last Buffalo date of Warped Tour was really cool, just because Warped Tour is this summer camp. Would have been cool to be on the whole thing, but hey, that didn't work out, and we got to play at least one of the dates. And to go and spend time with friends who were on that tour, connect with them, and just kind of like get the last like feel of what that it was. Hopefully we see something new in the future. We don't know. Other than that, when Lost Touch first came out, that was a very, very high moment for me. I was so happy with how it came together, the success we had seen up to that point, and the product that we released. Like that album, I was so proud of it. And then next to that is now the new album. It is that's like, I don't know, because we don't know what touring is going to look like in the next little bit. We don't know what performing is going to look like. So right now for me, dude, like that big thing right now in this moment is our new album. I'm really, really happy with it.
Do you find it some of those things? Because I spoke to Randy about this, and like because of his voice, it's going to be like a We Were Sharks record, but there's kind of experimenting, and a lot of bands are doing things, and I feel like bands like yourself and Seaway are kind of experimenting and adding some more rock stuff and more pop stuff rather than just a punk or a pop punk record. You know what I mean? It's safe to say that we're going to get that with this new record.
It's safe to say that you will definitely get some different sounds, some rocky vibes, some pretty catchy things, but we definitely didn't want to completely step away from the fact that we wanted to make sure that it was a Sharks record. We didn't want to rewrite Lost Touch. We wanted to take what we learned from Lost Touch and then really try and create something. Well, we always want to try and do better. Yeah. And I believe we did it. I hope the listeners think so too.
Isn't it pretty cool, though, how there's been so many We Were Shark songs over the years, and some are more popular than others, and some were promoted more than you guys? No, but I feel like it's interesting because, like, on Lost Touch, there's a lot of songs, like, Hotel Beds, Beyond Repair, that were kind of promoted as, like, the singles and everything, and they had music videos for Ashley and everything. But, like, you look at, a song like Sober, that was not a single, that is, like, my favorite song on the record, that basically like has a lot of love on Spotify. Like that's cool too, right? Because you're just like putting out a song. Yeah. You're putting out the CD. There's like 3 or 4 singles that you push, and then the rest of the stuff is just out there. Yeah. And people gravitate for that without you kind of pushing it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Because you put up the singles because you're like, these are the ones that I think will really sell the record, or this is what my high points of the record were, or what we believe the high points of the record are. And then to see that love for the other singles, that you need to go find that. You need to go and find those songs, and then you find them and you love them. If anything, it made me believe that there are others out there who do appreciate the record. They think it's a good record, and like the other songs, they like songs we write. So yeah.
And there's like just a song that's funny because Randy told me that this song almost didn't make the record. You know what I'm talking about right now. This is before Lost Touch. I mean, one We Were Sharks song is just like a powerhouse that will never go away, and that song is Bridge Burner. Oh. And Bridge Burner, you're laughing because it's like that song. Like I was talking to Colin about this. That song will like that's becoming kind of like a pretty fan favorite We Were Sharks song.
Oh, it is the like.
It's the We Were Sharks song, maybe. If
we played a set and like walked away without playing that song, we would lose anyone who followed us probably.
I feel like there's a few songs from like was Run for Cover on that record too?
Yeah, Run for Cover was on that one.
I feel like there was a few songs on that record. Like it's weird because everyone talks about Lost Touch, and I'm allowed to say this, I think, because I've known you, like I've known the band for quite a long time.
Yeah.
But I feel like that kind of like Lost Touch was a big deal. It was awesome. But that like Not a Chance, that record kind of like was the breakout of We Were Sharks a little bit, if you know what I mean, a little bit.
Yeah, I that was the first set of songs that I was a part of. And at that time, the guys had released Highways, and they had like that super sweet summer sampler.
Yes. Oh yeah, they did.
and so we had these songs that were very reminiscent of the sound that was current at that time. And then when we went to go and write Not a Chance, we really took the time to really just write these songs. But the funny thing about Bridge Burner was I just remember like one day being like, here's a joke. And I put together a couple of chords and we just kind of went with it because it just flowed so well. And we never thought that song was going to be what it was.
Well, I don't know if Randy told you this, but I texted Randy because I interview a lot of, pop culture guys. People are promoting a movie, so I have them on. And I'm interviewing Tyler Posey, who's in Teen Wolf on MTV, and he's been in pop punk bands and stuff, right? And like, I'm talking to him about some like pop punk bands that I like, and I'm like, yeah, I'm friends with guys in We Were Sharks. And he's like, it wasn't in the episode, but he's like, We Were Sharks. I love that band. Keep burning down bridge. And this is like someone with like millions of followers on Instagram who is like singing Bridge Burner.
That's cool, man. Yeah, it's crazy to like, no matter how big a show is, when we play that song and seeing the way it goes off, like I still remember us like thinking about how like it wasn't. I remember we were talking about what song we're going to release when we first did that record, and Bridge Burner wasn't even in our like thought at all that was going to be a song. And
you know what's weird about We Were Sharks? And I'm thinking about this right now because, like everyone, like, I'm like, it's funny because was Without You on Not a Chance as well?
Yep.
That was a good record. Like, I'm thinking about it. No, because I think everyone was talking about Lost Touch because it was on Victory and it was like big deal, right? It was all colorful and stuff. But like, Not a Chance was a good record.
Yeah, me and Will listen to it every now and again. Will's favorite song that we ever wrote is How to Lose Your Cool. It is definitely like a really fun, great record. Like when I listen to it, like I'm very, very happy with it, 100%. Yeah.
It's weird because like I see it online too, and I'm on all these like Facebook groups, pop punk and everything, and like We Were Sharks will always like show up in like a comment. Like I remember when like you guys put the music video out for I think it was Without You. I think there's a music video. Yeah, you had a music video for Without You, right?
Yeah.
You put it out, and like it was funny because like people were just losing their minds on it. And then to me, it's just like, it's fucking Randy and Jason and Will. And I know these guys, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, for sure. No, the feedback from that was really, really awesome. And it was really cool for me at that time because that was the first thing I'd done with the band. Right. So it was me being able to be like, hey, I'm part of this too. Like,
do you think it comes to a point though, like you, Will, and Randy have been in the band for such a long time. You stuck it out with the band member changes. I mean, it comes a point too where, you do what works and you kind of go with it. You know what I mean? You write a certain way, you tour a certain way. You know what I mean? Like you're doing things that work. Sometimes it won't, but I look like a band like, it's more heavier than you guys obviously, but I look at a band like August Burns Red, who it's been the same five guys like since the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Like obviously something worked, right? Because bickering and arguing, everything that happens naturally, right?
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's at one point you think of like the band as a business, you think of the band as like a career, and like you kind of have a balance. Do you know what I mean by that?
100%. Whenever like it came to trying to find a new member, it was about making sure that person fit that way. It was about making sure that like it's someone who could be your brother, your best friend, and your business partner all at the same time. Everyone has their strengths and they do what they do in their role of the band. So yeah, when you see like a band who's been around forever and had the exact same X amount of members, it's almost like, man, you guys got so lucky and found each other so early in life.
Yeah.
But I mean,
but you know what I mean though, right?
Yeah. I mean, also like we're very fortunate. I like to believe we have really good relationships with those who were also who were previous members in Sharks. But yeah, I think I've gotten away from the question.
No. It's just like it's just the natural, like, because like I said, right, like for you guys, obviously, like a lot of people know the music industry. You unfortunately can't like make a living off the We Were Sharks stuff. Like, you wish, you know what I mean? And sometimes I feel like people look at what we talked about with the Spotify and are like surprised to hear that like everyone still has like day jobs. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, man. It's crazy. I'm very fortunate, and I have a job that allows me to work remotely. So when we go on the road, I just work from the van. But you know, I see some guys out there just toughing it, and sometimes it's sad. It's really hard, and it goes back to what we were talking about when people had to leave bands because you know your livelihood versus like you know music will always be there. You know, you can always find a way to make music, perform music, but sometimes it becomes bigger than you, and it becomes a bigger ask of you than you can give back, I suppose, if that makes sense.
No, it does. Absolutely, man. No, for sure. Jason, thank you so much for coming on the show, man. I really enjoyed chatting with you.
Yeah, dude. Is this it? Is that it? I just click off now? Do I just leave?
No. Just like, where can people follow? So the new, like, they can listen to the new song on Spotify and the music videos out.
Yeah, they can check that out on YouTube, Spotify, on Apple Music, the Amazon Music streaming service, Google, like
basically like wherever you listen to music, you can listen to Shameless.
If you got the internet and you look for songs, you'll find it there somewhere.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. And for you specifically, where can people follow you on social media to keep up to date with everything?
So I don't usually use it a whole lot. But if you want, you can just follow us We Were Sharks Band on Instagram. We all take turns kind of working on that together. So yeah, you can hit us up there.
Amazing. Well, thanks so much for doing this, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. You can catch Shameless, the new We Were Sharks song on Spotify. The music videos on YouTube. Until next time, this is Jason Mooney of We Were Sharks and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.